Today's Friday, June 12th, 2020. I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas airport. As you can hear, this was the quiet corner of the airport a few minutes ago, but we'll see. Yeah, I flew out of Vancouver this morning. Early morning flight out of Vancouver. Landed here halfway on my travels to Norfolk, Virginia. Got to have this strange experience that traveling is now. And a lot's going through me right now. I'm just having to think about and be present in this environment. They're, requiring everyone to wear a mask, constant reminders about social distancing. What can I say? It's always been a little freaky and weird going to airports and having to go through the security checkpoints. It's always a little humiliating, always a little degrading, always a little violating of personal rights, space, freedom. Everyone's treated like a criminal, a suspect of, and now from that we've gone another degree to now you're potentially carrying or spreading a disease that could hurt or kill others, and so now it's a new level of fear and paranoia spread thick in the airports, in the travel. I was asked to put a mask on while I was in line for my first security check. This was just for the airlines, I believe, just as I took the shoes off, put the bags in, all those things, and I say, hey, everybody needs a mask on. And I told them that I had a medical exemption. Hesitated for a bit and took it and let me move through. Then I was moved into crossing the border from Canada to US, so I had to go through US Customs, come and get called up to the officer with my US passport. Wants to know where I'm going, all the usual questions. He asked me where my mask is. I say I have a medical exemption, and he asked me for paperwork. I say I don't have any. This really upsets him. He says, I don't care, you can come through here, but you're not going to be able to get on the airlines without it. And I was like, okay. It's like, I'll take care of that when I get there. He's like, no. And that really upset him. He didn't like that. He claimed that it didn't matter for me crossing the U.S. border, but that I was going back into Canada space, and that their Canada transport requires this, and he can't let me through there because I'm going to have to put one on to fly. And I'm like, okay, I'll deal with that when I get there. And he didn't seem to have the authority to make that decision, or he didn't feel he did. So he takes me into the little holding room, has my passport, my boarding pass in his hand, and hands it over to someone else. And then I'm forced to sit and wait until they call my name, which is sitting in a circle of 6 or 7 other people who are there ahead of me. This is 6 a.m. in the morning. They take like 30 minutes before they call my name. I'm like, hey, I'm here. I'm on a schedule. I'm here to catch a flight. I'm in the airport. That's what I'm doing here. There's officers all behind there's like 4 officers behind the desk, silent. Anyways, they call me up. They get in touch with the airlines. A representative of the airline comes and asks me what's going on. I say I can't wear the mask. She says it's fine, it's okay. The U.S. agent says like, hey, airline's okay with it, we're okay with it, cool. Sorry to hassle you. Hands me back my passport, my boarding pass. I come to the gate, I'm the last person in. I hear them speaking like, this is Shane Alexander, he has a medical exemption. I go in, I'm like the only person on the plane without a mask. So this share's not just to tell that story, but to set the context a little bit. It's disturbing, you know, to be held even to the point of possibly missing my flight, and there's not much it seems I can do about it to even contest it. But what I found was interesting was the one man who didn't have the authority to say yes or no had to take me somewhere else. His question was, do I have paperwork from a doctor? Do I have medical paperwork to prove my medical condition so that he would feel comfortable giving me a pass? And I think this is what I want to speak to right here, is that it's so interesting that we've arrived at this point in time where we're not allowed to be our own authority. We have to say, oh, my doctor said this, my expert said this, my physician said this, my authority outside of me gave me permission in here so I can show you, and you can look and say like, I don't trust this person, but do I trust his authority outside of this person that I can't see or speak to or know? Because it's written on a piece of paper and has a name or a seal or whatever. And I'm wondering what happened to our ability to trust the soul voice in each other. Can we be our own physician? Can we be our own doctor? Are we allowed to make a decision about what we think is the safest, most healthy choice for ourselves and our bodies? Can we say like, yes, I've heard all of the facts, I've heard everyone's argument, and this is what I feel is safe and healthy for me, and this is what I'm choosing to do? And is that not valid? And I just feel it's important to draw attention to this to show the slippy slide territory where we're going into, where every individual has lost his right to think and be and to claim sovereignty and to speak for themselves, to speak on behalf of themselves. We've disempowered everyone to thinking that they can't make a clear decision about themselves, that someone else that they go pay money to has to sign their name and give them permission to do or not do anything and everything. And I'm feeling standing in these lines 6 feet apart with all my fellow humans, I'm realizing that there was a time on the planet Earth here where we could trust the hive mind to give us accurate information. You see everybody move this way or that way, there might have been a noise or a threat, and you saw all the humans move, and you could pay attention to that and be like, ooh, what's going on? Like, I might move with them until I see what's happening. But it seems that our minds, our consciousness has been taken over by manipulation, by tricks, to where no one is able to think for themselves anymore. No one's to connect to their own center of intuitiveness and instinctualness and rightness and wrongness for themselves. So when I see a crowd of human beings, I can no longer accurately trust their reflex to everything because they're all responding to a program that they've given their power away to. They're accepting and believing that this program is in their best interest. It's keeping them safe, and so they surrender their power up and say like, okay, you think I should do this, I'll do this. And then when I look out, I see a bunch of humans following that one thing, and I can no longer feel safe and trust those humans either, because it seems they're no longer checking in with themselves on what their truth is. And when I check in with my truth and speak it, it surprises, shocks, and upsets everyone. And there's a strict box. They're like, how come you're not in this line or in this box? And then they realize they get challenged because they haven't thought about it, but they're in a line and in a box, and they don't even have the authority to say yes or no to me. They have to go to their higher authority to ask. They're like, am I gonna get in trouble for letting this guy go left or go right? Like, I don't even know. I gotta go ask somebody else if I can do this. Because none of us are given the dignity to make decisions, to trust our own instincts and intuitions, to connect in with the earth and our truth and what's going on. We're in a world where we're not allowed to question the society as it's been set up. If the society was corrupt and unhealthy, are we allowed to speak up and say our opinion about it? Are we allowed to stand up and speak our truth and claim what we see is maybe a dangerous situation fomenting that everyone's agreeing to, that we think is not healthy for me and not healthy for any of those other people either? And would it be in integrity with me to pretend that I didn't see a danger, pretend that I didn't feel endangered myself, and play and participate with it, all the while knowing that I'm endangering myself and tricking everyone around me by helping them to think that I believe this too? It puts me in a conundrum of what is my truth. And my truth is that I'm a visionary. I see a very different future for humankind than the track that we're currently on. But we don't get to the new track without a lot of change, without a lot of effort, or without a lot of waking up. And I see the current track we're on as a self-destruct track. And in order for me to maintain my vision on where the human race can go in a positive, healthy vibration of intact, aligned, divine souls inhabiting these bodies, it requires me to stay truthful with myself, and that I gotta be careful about lying to myself, that I can get out of my center, I can start to lose my vision if I keep giving away my power in places where I don't agree or I don't believe. My understanding is that I'm a highly sensitive human being. Putting a mask on in a way that to go along with everyone else when I feel like it's actually going to inhibit my health and go against my truth, feels like it's starting to disconnect me from my truth, from my abilities to be sensitive to my own truth, sensitive to what I need, and sensitive to what I may be able to help guide all my greater family out of. Like, my sensitivities may be one of the last sensitivities left in this crowd of people. And my sensitivities might be the only thing left that can guide us out of this blackout, sleepness, sickness that our state of humanity is in. And whatever I have to do to protect that high level of sensitivity, am I not allowed the right to make that decision for myself? And what doctor or authority could tell me yes or no? outside of me. Anyways, that's rich on my mind today, traveling. It's scary, it's disconcerting, being in these half-empty airplanes, being in these empty airports, feeling the stress and the intensity of everyone around me. Got a nice 5-hour layover here, and then on to Norfolk, Virginia to see my papa. Had an exciting last 4 days since my last video that I recorded. Spent the day moving out of my apartment. Spent the next day cleaning up the apartment after I moved out. Spent yesterday unpacking a little bit in my new space with Becky and packing up to come on this trip. Came into the city last night, spent the night in the city because I had such an early takeoff this morning. Now here I am. Yeah, a lot of emotion coming up right as I was packing my bag, getting ready to pack my bag yesterday. A whole lot of tears came through again. The best I can understand is psychically I'm feeling a really intense visit here with my papa. Got the next 10 days to be in Virginia with him, looking forward to it and scared and nervous that it may be our last visit together. And it seems I'm feeling that and feeling into that and hoping that I can show up and be brave and say what I need to say and let my dad know what he means to me and speak to that connection and speak all the words that my heart wants to say while I'm with him. That's what's going on for me today. It was actually hard to leave this morning. It's feeling like I just wanted to go back home and crawl into bed. And now traveling was so stressful this morning, I'm just like, Our world's heading in a strange place. The ability to like travel and dream this beautiful life I feel like is fading. Don't know how much more travel there will be. I can't imagine the airlines are making any money right now. All this structure, all these huge airports, nothing going on. It's a strange one. It's a strange one. But excited to just share what I'm seeing as I do this adventure, as I cross the soft border of Canada and US, back and forth. Continue to make these videos to show up and speak my truth and to hopefully keep speaking to what it is I'm here to land and bring into the world as it affects me each day. Where my heart truth is centered for today in the midst of all the things that seem so irrelevant yet somehow make up our world and is the very things that we're here to like work with or work through or work up against. So that's all I'm here to say today with my share. Sending love and a prayer for a planet Earth full of empowered human beings that know their center, that can speak their truth, who are encouraged to do so, not threatened or intimidated by not following